The three countries I would say where I bought the most vinyls were Japan, Brazil, and Peru. I would say that there's maybe half the record is in color and they're very bright, and the other half is in black and white. We had the chance that Thomas Borgalter from Daft Punk came and helped us a few times in the studio. Yeah, I mean, this is the first tour after the last record. We came there 2017, I think, like in the fall of 2017, and then I guess we should have come in 2020 or 2021, but because of the pandemic, everything moved back. And but every album cycle, it's we know we're gonna go to South America, and we always try to go as many places as we can. So the last time we played, I really remember it well because we arrived in Peru the day after Peru qualified for the World Cup. Half of the people were wearing the jersey, and I've never seen a city where half the people
Yeah.
are wearing the jersey, which was incredible. And we were like, well, we want to be part of this. Where can we find jerseys? And then I was gifted about 15 jerseys. Yeah, but nothing contemporary, nothing. We're always curious musicians, so we go to a lot of shops to buy musical instruments, which we did in Peru. But nothing contemporary. We knew. I mean, this was 6 years ago, but we knew that Peru was already the hotspot for food. That was
Yeah.
like a bit. So we made plans beforehand. We were like, okay, we're gonna check this. For music, no, we didn't know contemporary music, and then you go to places, you buy. I bought a few vinyls. I can't remember what they were, but I bought them because of the album cover. The only country where I bought more. The three countries I would say where I bought the most vinyls were Japan, Brazil, and Peru. Japan is number one because in Japan, you can buy, it's either an alternative. You have the three things. You have like the local artist that you don't know of. You have the classic albums, but
Yeah.
well, the fonts are in Japanese, so you feel like you need them, and the quality is incredible.
Yeah.
And then you have the weird. It's just like, yeah, that's where I spend the most money, I would say. But Peru, I got a good amount. Yeah.
Prêt?
For certain songs, yeah, definitely. I think for Alpha Zulu in particular, yes. And for more energy, for sure, more color, I would say that there's maybe half the record is in color and they're very bright, and the other half is in black and white. Winter Solstice was written at the moment where there was no color because I was in California with the fires and the smoke, and the day there was a day that never showed up. It was night for like 2 straight days. So there is a look for positivity, like something colorful. Even though to me, when we played live, all the things we work always on the light show and the production, and for us it's a very black and white moment. It's whenever there's a color, I'm like, no, don't put any color. It is an album that was a little bit like our first one, United, where when we picked, when we had to choose from the demos and from all the starting bits of music we did, we picked the things that were the most spread. You know, we picked the things that had the least in common. And we had the chance that Thomas Bangalter from Daft Punk came and helped us a few times in the studio. And when we played him the songs, we were like, okay, what do you think of these, 18 ideas? He did the same. He's like, I like that you picked this one because this one is this color that's very specific, and then this one fits another. So we kept try to go as wide as possible. And also during the pandemic, we didn't really have to choose for a theme, there was not a common thread to the thing. It was chaotic because inspiration was easy to be inspired because the world around was so intense. So I think a lot of albums that came out from the pandemic are interesting, that they have more gravitas and more range of they don't talk all about the same thing, but they share certain things, but they're all very spread and open. That we find to learn to have like a special connection with certain pieces of art. There are some that are incredibly skillful and master crafts of how they were built and everything, but those I have zero connection with. Like I can watch it's not sculptures or painting, it's even like in that museum they have furniture, they have there's a bit of everything. So they have like jewelry, and there are certain things that don't really, and then there are certain things that have either a mystique, like you feel like a really strong connection, and then when you dig into it, you realize sometimes you understand why. There's and other times you leave it as a mystery, and they will. So it was helpful for us to, when we had a lot of songs to pick between, we would go towards the one that were not necessarily the most impressive or the most structured or we'd go to the ones where we had a connection or something very personal and very, I think that's how maybe the museum influenced us a bit. Rob, our keyboard player on tour, he made albums with Leon a long time, and so we're starting to know Leon because every time we went to Mexico, he would be at the show, or he lived in Barcelona for a bit, so he would visit Paris. We'd meet him a few times, and he's such a mysterious character. He's such a complex, and there's a bit of similarities with Sébastien Tellier to come back to. No, someone mentioned, did you ever think about singing the Spanish language? And we were, at the time, the plans were aligned because we were like, no, but there's a song that we imagine in Spanish because the artifact, when we started writing it, the first mumbles that came sounded Spanish-like. So I thought like that's the one that we would want to do this with, and Leon naturally was. And then Claro came to, we played a show in New York City at Radio City, and she came to see the show. And the funny story is, at some point during the show, I have these binoculars that I don't know if you've seen, but I look through binoculars and people can see themselves in the screen. And the reason I'm looking in binoculars because we try to make our show a bit like opera-like, and I'm looking for a character who comes back and forth with a mask and stuff. And so while I was looking for the character in the show, you can sometimes see people are excited to be on the screen. But I do see, while I'm filming, I see my daughter in the crowd. And my daughter is kind of like doing this, like, and at the end I asked her what was this thing. It's like Clara was behind me when we were playing Madison Square Garden. Again, we thought, well, we need something special, and because she came to New York the first time and I missed the opportunity to get, to see her and stuff. I thought, well, this time, and we knew people in common. We started to know a lot of people in common, and so we thought, like, would you be up for performing with us at Madison Square Garden? And then we thought, let's make this song together, and I wanted her to sing 1901, but she didn't want to. She's like, I can't touch this one. It's my childhood thing. I don't want to mess up 1901. So we found other songs to do. A lot of French bands that came out at that time had a really good sense of aesthetic. They were really involved in not just how songwriting, but also how the cover should look, the music video, how to play live, what the instruments, how you would how a light show would be, how a keyboard stand would be. They were inspired because they all had strong aesthetics like Air, Daft Punk. So I love to be in that same group. But we definitely took different. To me, the music is. We do have the same record collection, but the music we do is very pretty different, which speaks that of the richness of that moment. That the fact that it's nice that it's not so similar and yeah. So, but to me, every voice is pretty unique. Like Sébastien Tellier is really not like Daft Punk, although they can work together because Guy Manuel produced one of his records and it really worked. So Air is about to tour again, which I'm really excited to see again because it's been a long time, and I know that people are, Moon Safari meant a lot to a lot of people. We started to work on new things a while ago, but it's when you're still touring, it's kind of slow, like it's here and there. But it's a moment that's fun for us because everything is possible. We worked a few days here, a few days there, and there's not really any pressure to make something. So no, we go in the studio. I leave in next week. We start the studio again, but it's very, we actually go in the studio of for a few days. We go in Nicolas from Air, his studio, which we've used a little bit. That's really nice. But there's not really. We don't know. We're excited with stuff we do, but we don't know how soon it's done. How soon. So we're still a long way to go. But uh, we know we're touring until August, and I think in August we'll end the tour. That will be the end of our tour probably. And then you go into this mode of writing a new song, writing a new album. But it's possible. We don't know if something is like feels like it shouldn't belong on an album or something, that we release something. It was really fun to work on my wife's movie Priscilla, for instance. These are the kind of things that we also did while we were touring. So hi, this is Thomas Mars from Phoenix. To everyone at Tercer Parlante, I hope to see you at our show in Lima. We're very happy and excited to come there for the second time. It's been 6 and something years, and 6.5 years, I would say. Too long, so we can't wait to see you. I hope you guys show up.